Alright everybody, welcome to Alicia Today, and today I'm going to show you guys a quick video on how to do a sublimation tumbler. So I am going to be doing a sublimation tumbler for Juneteenth. I have a craft fair that I'm going to be doing coming up, so I just wanted to show you guys how I do it. So first of all, I use a tape measure, and I don't do a template. I just take whatever tumbler that I have and I measure it. And then I just save the designs underneath what I named the tumbler, so I have them for the future. So then I measure it, and I put from this measurement 8.25, and then I measure around, and from here it looks like just after the 0.25, so I might put like 9.27. All right, so now let's go to the design. Okay, so here's my design, but I want to show you guys how I got it to this point. So this is Microsoft Word. So what I do is I go to Insert, Picture from my device, because I have images I created and I download it, and then I'm gonna do this design that I made to cover the complete, so like a complete tumbler wrap, and I push insert. From here, what you want to do is you want to take this little box that pops up, and you want it to be behind text. I believe this is what this one's called. Yes, behind text. So that way you can move this. Sorry, the table's shaking, the camera's shaking. So basically you can move it without having to worry about it going off the page. So remember those measurements I said? So we want the length. This is opposite. So how this one says length up here, this is actually the length, because the tumbler is going to be, I'm going to put the wrap on with the tumbler this way, not it standing straight up, if that makes any sense. So I want this part to be the longest part of the tumbler, and then this part that's going this way is going to be the part that wraps around. So therefore I'm going to put 8.25, and then I said I was going to go a little bit over since it was over, and I'm going to put 9.27. And then I forgot to tell you guys this part. So you see how it adjusted it and I didn't want it to, so you need to go to this box for the sizing. And the layout right here, you need to go here and unclick this lock aspects, because you don't want it to change. You want it to be exactly how you measured the size to be. So since this is 9.27, 8.25, enter. And you see how it went off the page, but since I put that behind text, I'm able to move this. And I usually try to center it on the page. And then from here, I just print it. So I already printed it. So let me show you how it's printing right now. I use the EcoTank 2803. I don't know if you see that. And so it's printing out. I use HTVRONT sublimation paper, HTVRONT Sublimation Ink. And then when we go in to do the tumbler itself, you're going to see I use HTVRONT sublimation, not sublimation, what's it called? The shrink wrap for the tumbler. Okay, so we're going to let this finish printing, and then we're going to go in to set up the convection oven, because that's what I use for the sublimation. All right, so here's the convection oven I use to do my tumbler sublimation. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to hit convection bake. I'm going to turn this to 340, excuse me. And I want to only bake it for 3 minutes, but I'm just going to leave it on 10. So I'm going to push play so it can get preheating. And then from here, you want to set up your sublimation tape. So I have my heat gloves. I have my sublimation tape that I already just took pieces off. And then, like I said before, I have this HTVRONT paper, shrink wrap. And then I'm going to show you how I do the process of putting it into the convection oven and then taking it out. And then we'll see. There's going to be no ghosting, nothing. So let's get to it. Okay, so it's all done printing. So what you want to do is you want to cut one side so that you don't have it too long. So I'm just going to cut one side off, making sure not to cut on the design. Make a little straight line. So that's how it looks. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the words are on the right direction, so you don't want to accidentally put it upside down. So I want to make sure that the words are going to be on there correctly, and I'm going to take my tumbler, my sublimation tumbler, and I'm going to line it up on this piece of paper, making sure that I'm going to get the design on both ends. So then the part that has like the extra white, like there's no design on it, I'm gonna put that over top. I don't know if you can see that over top. So what I'm gonna do now is just line everything up, and then I'm going to put some sublimation tape. So I just like to make sure that the paper is aligned correctly. I'm also gonna check to make sure like sorry, that's the beeping telling me that it's ready to add. Okay, so then let's see, it's not that perfect. So I'm just trying to make sure that it's going on straight. All right, so once it's on there like it needs to be, I check the top and the bottom just to make sure I don't see any design sticking out, because I want it to be on there. Like I said, I check again and make sure it's lined up, and then I am going to squeeze this as tight as I can. And that pre-size sublimation tape, I'm going to take it, and I like to do it from the side that has the little flap over top. And I'm going to start it, and I'm going to pull the tape and squeeze it as hard as I can so that it's really tight on there. So I do the middle, I do towards the bottom, and towards the top. Then I take, if there's like little leftover, I literally just like push it in so it's kind of like wrapping around the top of the tumbler, and then I do the same for the bottom. Then I'm going to take one of the wraps, the shrink wrap, and I'm going to put it directly in here. I try to center it so that it's kind of like centered in there. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like centered in there. And then I'm going to take my sublimation gloves. I mean, not my sublimation gloves, my heat gloves so I don't burn myself. And then I'm going to place it into the oven. So let's see if I can flip this. Okay. Alright, so then, like I said, I'm going to take the tumbler inside of the shrink wrap, and I am going to place it directly in here. Close it. And then I'm going to push this down to 3 minutes. and then I'll let it go. And then let me show you guys how the shrink wrap just goes around it. I don't use a heat gun because I've used a heat gun before, but then it doesn't seem like it's worth it because I don't know if you hear it. The shrink wrap is wrapping around it. Can you hear it? So I didn't see the point of needing to have like a to do the heat gun process if I'm able to just put it directly in there and it could the shrink wrap just wraps around the tumbler itself. So then we'll get back to you. I'll get back to you when it's almost done so you guys can see the finished product. Alright, so almost ready for it to come out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately tape off the shrink wrap and the sublimation paper so that I can get that off and show you guys the design. So this is what I do. I literally immediately take off the shrink film and I try to get all the tape off so that it just comes off in one bit, but if it doesn't, then like I said, I'm just trying to get it off of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start ripping it off. This last piece has this camo. All right, so in the trash. All right, and then here's the finished product. Kind of have the glare from the window. Let's see if I can move this. Right. All right, so that's it. It's hot. Make sure you have your heat gloves on. But look, no ghosting. Beautiful Juneteenth sublimation tumbler. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like this method? I thought it was really quick. It doesn't take too much time. I like using the sublimation tumbler. The sublimation tumbler inside of the convection oven. I do have one of the mug presses, but I prefer this because it just seems easier, faster for me to do because my mug press is small. I would have to do it in sections. But anyways, please comment and subscribe to the channel, and if you guys would like to see this, if you are not going to be going to well, I guess you possibly wouldn't be going to the craft fair that I'm going to be at, but if you would like to see these available at my store, please let me know, and then I'll add them on there. If not, I just plan on selling them at the craft fair that I'm going to do for this upcoming Juneteenth. All right, you guys, stay blessed.